Everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we will see how do we use tools and connectors in Prompt Flow. You begin with, you have to create a compute session. So if you see here, there are two options to start the compute session. You can click on the start compute session. In this case, it is going to use the default configuration to create a compute for you, or you can click on the advanced settings wherein like you can set hey, like what is the configuration that I wanted to have, like how many CPUs, whatever is that, like you basically you can choose the VM image with this and start the compute session. The compute session, you see here it says that it's a serverless, and you go to the management center, and if you go to the compute here where you will see the compute instance and the serverless instance. So the difference is that when you really want to have this compute to run for a pretty long time, you can always create a compute instance, or you can create a serverless instance. So in my case, I have created the serverless instance. This will be available for 1 hour for me to finish off this particular demo. Now let me go back. Compute will come with a default packages installed, but if you really wanted to add the additional packages, you can always change the file mode and navigate to the requirement.txt file and make the changes here. Then you can restart the compute session so that whatever the additional requirement that you have, that will get installed in this particular compute session. About the tooling, so this flow is going to be a pretty simple flow. So all it does is that it takes the input and make a call to the LLM, and LLM will have the tools. If there is a need, it will make a call to this particular tool, and finally we do a summary of this execution, right? So now take a step back and try to understand the overall configuration here. So we are taking this input, and we are passing that input to the LLM. So as you see here, under the input section, we are creating a query variable here, and we are passing whatever the input that we are getting, that is a query here. And if you see the prompt, we are basically passing that query here, right? And on top of that, we have this function definition here. So if you see here, there is a specific schema that you have to follow. You can have a number of tool as long as it follows the schema. The schema is that what is the name of this particular tool, and what is the description, and what are all the parameter it takes, and what is the type of this parameter, and what are all the list of required parameters. That's all we need to have. So this is what we have to pass it to the LLM. And we already discussed about all these connection and configurations in the previous video, so I'm just skipping it. Now let me go to the tool here. So if you see here, this is a simple Python script. So it has two different functions, get weather, and there is going to be a run functions, right? So this function, it's decorated as a tool. So basically this is how you create a tool. So what will happen is that LLM will make a call to this particular get weather, and that get weather, within that get weather, we defined this as a tool. So it is going to call this particular function and pass the output of this particular LLM. So if you see here in the output section, we have this is the output that we would be getting from the LLM, right? So here it says that function under the output section. We have a function call in which we created an argument, and it also has the name of this particular tool. So it is going to make a call to this get weather, and this function will get called, and then whatever we discussed under the output, it will be passed here as a dictionary, from which we have to extract this information like name of the function and arguments. If a function name is a get weather, then we will call this particular get weather, and by passing the relevant parameters, and that is that function definition, it's here. So basically what it does is that it make a call to the weather API, and here we hard coded the API keys, right, using which it will make a call, and it is going to get the response back, right? So this particular format, it will respond back. Now we will have uh, now in the summary section, what we have, like we have this, we are just passing two values here as a input. One from the user query, like whatever the user query is that. Second, whatever the output from the get weather, right? So we pass both of these. And finally, what we say is that, hey, like you need to summarize all this information, right? And then, like if we go to the output section, output, you will see like whatever the output of this particular LLM call, right? So that is what we will be displaying here. Now if I run it here, if I go to the output, this is what you will see. The weather in Paris, it's whatever is that, and it's a patchy rainy day with the humidity, whatever is that. And if we go to the tracing here, where like you will see how much ever time it it took to execute this. And if you go to the log, this is where you will see the overall execution flow logs here. Metrics, in this case I do not have any metrics, but if you do have a metrics, then that will be presented here. We will discuss about how do we Azure search to get some of these information. So just to recap, in this video we discussed about function calling within the prompt flow. Thank you for watching this video.